Greetings, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world right now. This is for Commander Unshackled, and it's time for our roadmap for 2018 that is going to come up in this discussion tonight. And I've lost my fucking lighter again. There it is. And so this is going to be a closed panel of currently myself, Dutch, Lady Warrior, and Venom. For the specific fact of usually because Unshackled does it the way Unshackled does, I prefer this so everybody can see what is going on, all the discussions. Nothing is hidden. Everything is transparent. Because that's the way Shadow Killer ran the show. That's the way I run the show. Everything is transparent. Nothing is hidden from anybody. And I posted it up earlier on this morning, and literally early this morning, it was about 7 a.m. for me, about the roadmap for 2018 and the changes and adjustments that are going to be made, as well as bringing forward the show by 1 week to the 3rd instead of the 10th. Because everyone probably will pretty much be at work by next week, so there's not much to be missed in the process. And of course, I've introduced everybody already, but we have Dutch, we have Lady Warrior, we have Venom, and myself, the immortal Dr. Phil. Hopefully, you all had a good holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Festivus, Kwanzaa, bullshit, sit back and get hammered kind of deal, just in case you're not religious and you're an atheist. Well, I didn't do anything for Christmas because I'm an atheist and I'm offended. Well, I'm an atheist, and you can go fuck yourself.
I'm agnostic.
I'm agnostic.
Hippies.
Yeah, what about it? I'm old. I'm almost old enough to be a hippie. I'm almost in that generation.
Give it a few more years, and hippies will be back in style.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'll be right there with them.
Damn right. So, I mean, us as a community recently, I'm going to outline some of the stuff that I've already said. A in the pre-show and B in my long notepad.
Hairy armpits and patchouli oil.
And we've had some testing times in the waters recently with certain people, with certain players and vendettas and other shows. The utter hypocrisy of some and the hypocrisy of the game as a whole. And I can't pin this directly on specific people and specific employees at Kixeye. Bernie's still a bit of a greenhorn when it comes to the forums. He's still trying his damnedest to clean up Soloco's mess. Because after 3 years of Soloco, you kind of want to burn anything that a community manager would ever say to you. Because we got used to doing it that way. We got used to a lazy community manager who barely did anything. And I can't pin it on Wrong Thinker and Golden Doodle either. Because those guys are pretty much coming out of the top end. Wrong Thinker's the lead developer of his team. But he has to answer to the bean counters and Will Harbin's bulldog, as well as Mr. fucking Moneybags up in his big office upstairs every day. And it's one of those things. Nobody ever looks at the guys who do all the work. Just the guy that they can see, the front man. And the guys they throw onto the forum to just absorb all of the hate. And they get wound down eventually. And they either walk away from the company or they get released for whatever reason. And we'll come down to that a little later on. The challenge is at the moment is to deal with Kixeye day to day. And that is another game in itself. I mean, communication is supposed to be two ways. Not need to know. And even if we did need to know, Kixeye don't tell us jack shit about it anyway, half the time. Anything that needs to be player-facing, very rarely is until last minute, or the day of an update notes, or some emergency in that bar thing that they put out. Oh, well, this base is coming out today. Get your parts now for this and this and this and this and this. Or we're having a downtime in 20 minutes. Well, you could have told me that an hour ago. I've just started X amount of whatever. There's very little warning. There's very little communication. And it is driving me up the wall at the moment.
You're not by yourself.
No,
I mean, they're there for a little bit. You know, they were doing good, better. I'll say good, but better. You know, they fixed some hacks that, you know, everybody highly anticipated seeing it, and it worked, and it was great, and it was fun, and everybody had a good time. Then they fixed a few more, and it was good. And then all of a sudden, you know, as we discussed, you know, a little bit earlier, right around the 1st of October, it went to hell in a handbasket. Exactly. What happened? That's what I would wish Kix would explain to us. What happened the 1st of October? They went from, you know, doing some really good things, good communication, you know, keeping us up to date, fixing hacks and this and that, to
they went into Nightmare and Nightmare Resurrection. Oh no, Resurrection and Nightmare Resurrection, 2 great events. And then all of a sudden, Wrong Thinker goes on vacation, and then everything just goes shit.
Yeah, it went to shit, and it's not. It hasn't improved since he's come back. So what's happened? And you know what, Micaiah, you may be right. Isn't that about when they started doing surveys?
They've been doing surveys for a little while. For about 2 or 3 months prior to that. And they have been after feedback a lot of the time. But half the time, it's not just dealing with Kixeye employees. It's dealing with customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with CS is nothing short of a joke. Yeah. I mean, you can wait 2 or 3 days before you get a ticket read. The unread tickets, I had one that went unresolved for almost a week and a half. I've flipped my lid several times on that one. The tickets that go unanswered, and they just get closed for no reason. I've seen that. That pisses me off. The laughable compensation on some things.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with that tech center issue. The 50 gold and a jumbo jet. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was...
For guys who are doing 7-8 day upgrades on CCs and defense labs and other things, that they lost days.
Oh yeah.
And even at 50 gold a day, and that's a round price. 50 gold a day is like, okay, I can do with 50 gold a day. You lose 3 or 4 days, that's a couple of 100 gold in your account. No, just 50. Just 50 for all of that time wasted.
Yeah, that was...
And I understand their frustration on losing all that time. You know, but way back when they had an issue with certain buildings that wouldn't finish, like the tech center, I spent 2.5 months trying to upgrade my tech center to level 10. Support wouldn't assist. Support wouldn't do it for me. Support wouldn't compensate me. And I would timestamp it. And it's this. I started it on this day, this time, and it should be finished on this day and this time. It's reset. What are you going to do about it? Oh, there's nothing we can do. We're working on it, blah, blah, blah. And Mary, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Half the time now, I think they've outsourced their customer service, because half of it doesn't even recognize as proper English.
Yeah.
With the latest bunch of bellends they've got in there doing whatever they're doing. And it's just ridiculous. And the more ongoing problems that happen require more ongoing tickets. You've got the ridiculous memory problem and the memory leaks.
And thus their server collapsing because of it, or servers.
the server collapses, the 502 gateways on KXL, the constant ridiculous amount of requirement. I have 64 gigs of RAM in my machine.
And it uses every last triple.
God damn it, tried.
Yeah,
I was in the game earlier for a grand total of about an hour just farming res, hitting Iron Strike 35s, Iron Strike 30s, the odd 60 when I could be bothered. And I did nothing but farm res. And by the end of it, I checked on how much memory was allocated towards that section of the game. It turned out to be 12.5 gigabytes of RAM that was being pulled from my system.
Dear Lord.
An internet browser window. 12.5 gigs. Because there's no optimization. None whatsoever. I could load up any Flash game now. It might maybe take 500, maybe a gig if it's one of those ridiculous ones like tower defense games are ridiculous for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what the fuck? What are you taking all of my 12.5 gigs of memory and siphoning it all off so you can do whatever you're going to do with it? No, you've got a classic case of a memory leak that you need to get fixed. That I don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And it's something that needs addressing. The flash crash that is repeatedly annoying, freezing when you're hitting a base, the constant red box error, 2002 clock out of sync, or base save errors, or snow bear, or this one, or that one. There are loads of them. The disconnects, the platoons not repairing, that is still an issue.
Mm-hmm.
The bugs in the workshop, the bugs with units, the constantly releasing broken shit, offers that don't work, the updates that stop stuff, and the Vanquisher shields still don't work, and that's a 5-year-old bug.
Yeah.
I mean, sit down. I mean, what happened to QA? What happened to quality assurance?
You're assured our quality sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
The game would run better if the quality did suck. This is abysmal. I mean, how many units have they released in the last couple of years that they've had to patch up or change or modify for whatever reason? Dina's Shredder Tech didn't work properly for 6 months.
I still don't know if it's working right because it sure doesn't seem like it's helpful when I try to use it.
It does work. For now. Okay. Oh, they even broke the fucking mine factory a couple of times. Which was the only building in the game that has ever worked 100%.
Yeah.
Up until the day they broke it.
That was honestly the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot. How the hell you broke the one piece of code in the game that had not given any hiccups and errors? All of a sudden you figured a way to fuck that up.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the point where I want to call Kixeye up on some of their bullshit. It comes to the leaderboard promise. We were promised the leaderboard before Warpath. Warpath happened. No leaderboard change.
Nope.
And it was stated live on a show we'd look a bit stupid if we didn't have the leaderboard out before Warpath. Lo and behold, you're gonna look a bit stupid.
Yep, because was that not the show that we did? Wasn't that Wrong Thinker's first time, I believe, because we brought that up while we were waiting for them to finish the workshop update, and he said that it would be fixed by then. I believe it was that show.
The first one or the second one? I'm not sure. One of the two, but I know that quote.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Oh, it drives me berserk. It's the constant grind for resources, thorium, metals, this base, tech bases, unit bases, Omega bases. What happened to War Commander? What happened to the game?
It's Upgrade Commander. And occasionally you get to play War. But usually it's Upgrade Commander. All the time, every day.
It's Task Commander, but with that
Here's the thing.
come tasks. Yeah. With the tasks come more tasks.
Here's the thing. I wanna ask each of you real quick, and I'll give you my answer at the end. What would you say right now? What would you tell a new player, and I mean brand new, just coming out of the gate, if they started War Commander today? What would you tell them?
I would say it's you will never catch up. So I would say never mind.
I would say just cut me a check. Save yourself the aggravation.
And I would tell them, don't walk, but run the other direction. Delete the game. Don't come back. Because it's a money pit. Because if you start brand new right now, unless you coin, you absolutely will never, ever, ever, ever catch up. You can't. You will never compete in this game with anybody.
That is actually one of the few farces that have absolutely infuriated me over the sequence of events that have happened in the last few years. The constant effort to malign what is valuable for us to do every single day, the task sequences that they've instilled, the grind, the constant, never-ending, just shit being pumped and pumped and pumped into the game on top of us, and turning around and saying, well, you can play at your own pace. You don't have to do this. You don't have to get that. You don't have to collect tech. You don't have to collect components. You do not have to upgrade to Elite or Omega or advanced, or you don't have to collect hero units.
It's easy.
That is utter bullshit.
It's easy to say, but a real hardcore player wants everything.
It's no. It's not even. I'm taking a step back. I'm taking a step back, and I'm not looking at it from the position of a player who's a collector, who wants to collect everything that's possible. I'm not looking at it as a player who's a PvP artist who wants the biggest and baddest toys so that he can go out and smash bases for the least amount of effort, least amount of loss, and be able to assert himself and his dominance in the game. I'm looking at it from the perspective of any general player who comes into this game and sees the things that are brought against us, railguns, thorium-induced units, zombies during the zombie event that were super powerful, and then turning around and saying, okay, can a level 38 player with level 2 infiltrators and that SF shit, a few minor third generation units like acolytes or liberators, but all low level, can they succeed? Not just can they compete, but can they succeed? Because anybody can compete and get their ass handed to them. It's different if you can succeed, which allows you to collect the next level of shit to make you better next month or next time.
Mm-hmm.
There is no next month or next time. We've already witnessed how tragic it is that we cannot sit back and relax and collect a unit and upgrade the unit over time and watch the progression of that unit and learn the unit's pros and cons and then take it to the next event. It is, get the unit this week, it better be fucking upgraded by tomorrow because you've got shadow ops the day after, and then you've got specialty bases the day after that, and then 2 days later we're going to have a PvP event, and then 3 days after the PvP event ends, we're going to start our monthly event.
Yep, exactly.
There's no stress relief between the stress of one task to the next task to the next task. Mm-mm. One unit to the next unit to the next unit. I was saying this earlier. I don't mean to take up so much time, and I'll stop after this.
Go ahead.
But I was saying this earlier, just before we came on with the pre-show. I played the event. I gave the event high marks and accolades. It was a great event. It was wonderful for lower levels. to get in. It wasn't overly difficult. There were puzzles to get through. It was well thought out and well done. However, I went through the event. I was pretty much done on day 2. Not that I got everything I needed, or not that I have everything and don't need to collect, because there's a shit ton of stuff I need to collect. I was done pretty much on my second day of playing, and I just played through the rest of this off and on just to keep the sector bar going up for the other players in my sector. I did not do a single God damn it, help me out with the unit.
Omega Blackout?
I didn't do a single blackout base throughout the entire event, regardless of the drops, and I was online, in-game, a multitude of times during the drops. I didn't, because I have no desire to upgrade that unit to that level. Because by the time I've spent upgrading and collecting and getting all the components and all the tech and all that shit that is going to come down the pipe for it, it'll be obsolete to me. And I'll be on the next unit, which might be the Siege Squadron, which is coming out, or whatever's coming down the pipe in another month. I've already gone through this with, the Juggernaut, with the Sandstorm, with the Titan, with the Phantom. I didn't get a chance to upgrade my Phantom to Omega Phantom, in time. Everybody else played with it long before I even got a chance to even kiss the Omega Phantom status. But I love my Phantom. And by the time I got good with the Phantom, and Shadow Killer was still playing, when it came out, and I was showing him what it could do, and in his base, he let me hit him and die. But, I love that unit. But by the time I was comfortable with it and strategic with it, everybody else had left it in the wayside because other units had come down the pipe. Mm-hmm. And it went into mothballs. And I had to throw mine into mothballs because not only was I beginning to be proficient with it, but Kixeye altered their enemy status and their units and their bases that negated my skill, negated my unit because it was outranged. The cloaking didn't cloak fast enough. Again, we had that issue. That was another game glitch where it would decloak and not recloak quick enough. So, all these things have settled on the back of my mind that it's put me in a position where I've become so disillusioned and disheartened with the way that this game is being run, that I'm not even willing to put in the effort. And I said this earlier, which is, it's really disturbing as a diehard, loyal player to have the time to sit down and play an event for the first time in a long time where I was here every single day of the event, and yet I still did not sit and play the event with as much time as I could have, or as much effort and fervor. I just didn't.
I very much mirror that. Other than a couple of days of being away, I had more than enough time to sit down and play the event. I didn't, really. I did the event show. I think I did a few bases on Friday, a couple on Saturday before I left, and I came back last night and did nothing. I could have done. I could have done it last night. I could have done some stuff early this morning and cleared out the reset tokens like I usually do. I didn't have the heart to even log in. When I logged in a few hours ago, everything that was building that was done. Which is not like me at all. I keep everything on a schedule. I know when this building is done and this building needs to go up and this needs to do it and this needs to do it and this needs to do it and this needs to do it. I'm ridiculously anal about planning things and getting shit done, but I just didn't have the heart to even do it. And it's become my disillusionment with the game. And I can say nothing more to anybody who's starting now or started in recent weeks. The game is nothing more than a broken mess. You're already 6 years behind from day one. And unless by some miracle or by the grace of the Almighty and a fucking limitless credit card, you'll be stuck. You won't be able to do this base because you don't have the Omega this. You won't be able to do this base because you don't have the Omega that. You won't be able to do this place because this unit came out last event and they haven't given the new prize out yet. You'll be stuck with a bunch of faction shit that's not worth having.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to go through all the events. Again, all the bases, medals, tech bases, unit bases, this base, that base, 3 bags fucking full base. And the disillusionment with the game, it's gone back to, I coined the phrase, the Great Divide. And that is it. There is a divide between us as players, between skill levels, base levels, unit levels, and then the skill that players have. I mean, goddamn, I know there are damn more better skilled players than me out there. But again, I'm more skilled than some other players. At the same time, there is the divide between the skill, and then there's divide between the unit levels, and then there's this chasm between us as a community and Kixeye themselves.
Yep.
And this is why I wrote this up last night. From here on out, this is the following that will start. As of January the 1st, which brings in 2018, Kixeye are getting a 90-day period in which to either impress me beyond a shadow of a doubt or simply make the game fun again. And I don't mean by reducing this and giving you this and throwing shit at me. Make the game fun to play. Fun hitting a PvE base, fun hitting a PvP base. Not having to repair my shit for 3 goddamn days. But the problem is, I haven't had fun in War Commander for so long. You'd have to work very hard to disappoint me. Even more so than I already am. And if the 90-day period comes along and expires, and I feel still that the game has no direction, I will close the game permanently, step down from the show, and not come back. And on that day, I will close War Commander Unshackled. Because I've put a lot of thought into this over the last few months, and I've stuck around because, simply put, no one runs a show like I run the show. It's egotistical, it's self-centered, but I defy you to prove me wrong. And the game was fun before it hit the money grubbers and became a spreadsheet and became Will Harbin's retirement yacht. The micromanagement and the mismanagement and the misdirections have destroyed that company. That's why you think David Scott walked away. Him and Paul Brees were the original founders of Casual Collective, and they made games. They made old Flash games back in the day, and then they brought Will Harbin in. And oh my God, did that fucking suck.
Mm-hmm.
And they did loads of things. They did Backyard Monsters, which was great for years. And then they did some shit to it, and then it died. Battle Pirates was great for years. And then they made ridiculous changes to it. And now they hate it. Vega Conflict, I played for 4.5 years. They broke that and they put so much into it. Vega Conflict has now gone into what they call automation. And it'll be dead in a year. No new updates. No new content for that game. Dead. Gone. That was a game I loved. That was my real first, thrust into doing talk shows like this. I used to do roundtables every weekend because I love to play the game. And this is how I became the producer of War Commander Unshackled. I was a producer on 2 BV shows. I've been an arbiter on most of them. And this is me getting me into the... It's me being this and getting this done now and continuing to run the shows in the self way I do. But marketing has soaked up the last blood and the last drops of blood with the last dollars that company will ever see from me. And they're not going to get any more. Because recently we've been made several grandiose claims that we haven't seen. The leaderboard I mentioned earlier before Warpath, myth busted. Reevaluating the medal payouts in November.
Still broken promise.
Myth busted.
Yep. They said they were going to slow down content. That's not happened a bit.
Oh no.
Well, they retracted that.
They slowed down content, but just put more for you to do to get stuff.
See, now,
well,
I guess on the obverse of that, I believe they added content by adding tasks to unlock the content that otherwise just would have been put to us.
Exactamundo.
So instead of it being one single thing to do this base, collect this item, now you have to do so many bases to collect the ability to collect said item. And that is adding content.
That's what they call gating.
Yeah. Well, the only gating I like is in a manual 6-speed, but that's just me.
Well, that's why you got to own a big saloon. But that's a story for another day. But it's the last one on that list that I have in front of me is on several occasions lightening the load for struggling players. Which they haven't done.
Nope.
Because if you look at any of the bases that are on the map, the Omega Herald or the Elite Herald or the normal Herald base, can a level 38, 39 do that?
No.
And the answer is no. The Jug base. No. The Blackout base. No.
Oh, hell no.
The Titan base. No.
No.
Any of them. Any of the units that we use on a daily basis. Is it even semi-easy to get? Even with some really low base shit. I've tried.
No.
You just can't. And anybody that comes into the game or is still in that mid stage where I was a couple of years ago, in a 35 mid-level, the mid-30s, trying to get anything done back then wasn't as difficult as it is to try and get some of the stuff that we have to do now. There's no way in hell going to hit the level 90 highway base for the medals.
No.
Hell, I find the 90 easier than the 40.
Wow.
Because Kixeye have lost what true balance is. We put the level 20 on the map. Okay, that's not good enough. You get epoxy 250 medals out of it.
The fundamental
and
issue
out at level 30.
The fundamental issue that I've had with Kixeye and them trying to pose this ability to we added this base for the mid levels. We've added this base for the low levels. They never needed to add fuck all. What they needed to do was reevaluate what the rewards were for the bases that we already had created. We wouldn't have been so over clustered with shit in our world map had they made the bases equivalent to what their numbers represented and what the value be equivalent to the amount of attrition that you'd have to face when you went into those bases. A 90 should pay you more. A 45 should pay you more. There isn't a base on the map for metals or for thorium or for resources that is actually up to date for the current requirements for the units that we have. It's not even a matter of difficulty for, putting aside the difficulty to collect the resource from said base, but it's the matter of how many of these freaking things you're going to have to trudge through just to get enough of that resource for the one task that you want to do. For example, the new unit, 50 million thorium.
Yep. Ridiculous.
To build one.
50 million thorium, 75 million thorium.
So 50 million thorium to build a unit that doesn't have a gun, which has value. And don't get me wrong, there's a great significant tactical value to this thing. However, 50 million for this unit, you have to go out and hit, an 80. It's fucking ridiculous. And then a player of my status, or not that I'm not good. I'm not. I'm a shitty ass game player. I'm not. I played as a young kid. I play a little bit now, but I'm not. I'm not in the YouTuber fame. But for what I can do and what I can accomplish with little skill set that I have, you collect 18, 20 of these things. Say you want to build 7 of them. Now you're grinding out thorium to build 7 of the freaking things.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And Chris, you mentioned something. Chris mentioned in the YouTube chat about a boycott. And you know what, Chris? The problem with the boycott is
nobody will do it.
Nobody will do it. I mean, somebody will say that they're going to do it, and I'm not going to pull any alliance names. But this alliance says, okay, yeah, we're going to boycott the game, and we're not going to coin for a week. And then the other one says, yeah, well, I don't think so. So they go in. The ones that's not going to coin is the ones that are going to go in. They're going to smack the ones that are not coining or trying to not coin. And then the war starts again. And, you can't get, if we could get everybody truly to get everybody to not coin for a month on all sides of this game, I think kicks might pay attention, but it'll never happen.
And the downside, I will never support a boycott.
Yeah, I want to say this. It's never, okay, I would support a boycott, but not a monetary one. And this is the reason why. You coin or don't coin, Kickside don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be blatant. They don't care how much you spend. There was a point where I spent a lot. There's been points where I spent very little. And there's a point now where I spend nothing. They don't give a fuck. They don't treat me any better or any worse than they did day 1 to now. Day 7 years. It doesn't change their attitude. I am nothing but a fucking account number. I am a user. Let's put this in real world perspective. When you go to your job, no disrespect to anybody out there. We are all hardworking individuals. We go to our jobs. We put in effort. We pride ourselves on accomplishing what we have to accomplish on our day-to-day to bring home money to support our families or ourselves. To the corporation that you work for, to your boss, you are fuck all. You're a fucking payroll number. You're a check at the end of the week. That's all you are. Get shit done to make me money, and then fuck off. Come back tomorrow.
Yep.
I hate to break this reality to most people, but that's all you are. Now, for Kickside, that's all we are. We're a number. I'm 97 blah 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 blah, or 3709 blah blah blah. All right,
that's allow me to enlighten you to the 211th rule of acquisition.
Yes.
Employees are the rungs on the ladder of success. Don't be afraid to step on them.
Yes,
exactly.
Very, very good and sound advice. So monetarily, boycotting it with not coining doesn't work. They don't care. It's not going to affect them. There's 2 outcomes. A, they trick you by patting you on the back with some false bullshit equivalent that they're going to soften some things up and coerce you back into coining. They're going to offer you a coin deal like they do, New Year's, and we just got through a couple months ago where they drop it 60%, 70%. All these percentages are bullshit again. Because remember what I always say in past shows, gold means nothing It's fake. It's artificial. It's a bunch of numbers on a computer screen. It does not cost them anything. You're going to log on, and this is true with everything. If you get a gift card from a store, you go to a restaurant. The restaurant makes you rancid fucking beef. You complain. They give you a gift card for $100 at their restaurant. What does that mean? It means you got to go back to their fucking restaurant. You ain't going anywhere. You're still giving them business. They're still going to make money off you.
Yep.
Because you're stuck with them. So the tangibility of finance and boycotting it financially will never work, and it's an admirable idea, but it's a stupid idea. What I would support as a boycott in Kixeye or in games, is a collective effort from all of the people in the game, the majority, vast majority, to not do a task. Then follow that up by not doing another task. When they've spent effort, and this is where you turn things around, instead of you not giving them money, what you end up doing is making the money they've already spent be a waste. So if you don't do, obviously it's too late, we're already into the shoutouts, but if you come with a point where they introduce something into the game that everybody looks at it and goes, this is fucking stupid. For example, the trophy. No haste. Don't get the trophy. It's too late now, but nobody, nobody in the game spent the 800 XP and got the trophy. And then the next trophy comes out and they do the same shit. Nobody, and I mean nobody in the game, get the trophy. Coins, these upgrade coins. Nobody get these upgrade coins. What ends up happening is when they force you to add effort to unlock something that forces you to add more effort to do it, when you've made them waste tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of programming and cleaning up code and writing all this shit and paying some guy, some pencil neck dork in a fucking, Van Housen shirt to sit back on his computer and fucking type away. And he's spent all this effort and all this time, and he's gotten paid. He got a paycheck at the end of the month. And Kixeye finds out nobody's using the coins. Well, fuck this idea. Scrap the coin thing. Nobody does it. It's wasting effort, and it's wasting money, and we're wasting coders on building a system that nobody's going to use. Fuck this idea of unlocking the trophy because nobody's going to get the trophy.
People are ingrained.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We all are.
Everybody's been done. Everybody's done it.
We're all, yeah.
We've all been trained now to get as much as we can get the trophy, deck it out, collect everything we can get hold of. And now we have to, because it's one of these things. I won't do token bases for that reason and that reason alone. If I can get them by any other means, I will. But I refuse to do token bases.
Yeah.
I've maybe done about 4 when they first dropped, like everybody else. But I won't do them.
Well, I'm the same way with the medals bases. I don't do the medals bases. I'll get them in the PvP, my 5, whatever, and that's it. Now,
if it's a new one, I'll do it out. I'll do it once because it's there. I won't do it again.
A couple months ago, we had a pretty much easy grindable 90, how we see that 90 base. What did they do? After 1 month, they changed it. They changed it right
changed it, and because people weren't hitting it, they changed that base after 3 weeks.
So, and after they changed it, it was a pretty kind of fucked up base. And they kept it for the, how long?
3 weeks.
3
weeks.
No, but after that, they changed it.
They changed it again to the current layout.
So,
we've had 3 different 90s in 3 months. In less than 3 months.
So every time when it's disadvantages disadvantages Kixeye, they change it within minimum of time. But when it's disadvantage us, they take the time to fix it.
No, they do that with Shadow Ops. They give us a 70. That's it's not too bad. We can do it. Yeah, you may have. Some people are going to do it with minimal to no damage. Some are going to do it with maybe a little bit more, but they're doable. And it's not so much damage as you sit there and go, "Damn, really?" and then they change it. Me, I'm done doing shadow ops. I had 2 parts or whatever it is for this siege thing, and then I was gone because I was busy with real life. I've not done a shadow ops since I've come back, and I don't plan on doing a shadow ops. And I don't care what the next prize is. I'm not doing shadow ops. That's my. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because I'm tired, and I don't do metal bases. I don't do the. Now I have done a few of the token bases, but I'm not doing any more of those. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm tired of the grind too. I'm tired of the grind.
To be honest, the new siege unit. I think it's gonna be a big disappointment because we've been doing the new boss bases, so we kind of been able to play against the siege planes, and I find it that you can pretty easy shut them down.
Well, I never personally expected them to have a lot of health. I expected them to be paper airplanes to begin with, because if they didn't have the Achilles heel of being easily destroyed, these things would have been too OP in the game. It would have brought us back to the time when we were dealing with the hacks dropping, 16 and 17 and 18 freaking specters and
yeah.
stuff.
Sandstorms and all that shit.
But when they were presenting. But when they were presenting that new unit, as I was reading comments on pages and forums, a lot of people got excited. But
I got it wrong when it came to what we actually saw in those bases. I assumed that they would drop far more pods per run.
And they did.
Yeah, but they only seemed, at least in what I'd seen, was they only dropped 1 each as they flew by. And then on the second run, it would drop another 1, or maybe 2. It's been a while since.
But if you're using Hades, I mean, I was amazed how quick you can shoot those airplanes down with Hades.
Well, that adds to another thing that's in my list, and it depends how long you've been around, but I remember when games that Kickstarter brought out were the focus of fun, and the fun was the focus of play, not because of the money, not because staff were being fired for not meeting revenue goals, and not because staff were fired for standing up to the suit on the side of players. I've brought this guy up a few times, but he is still one of my favorite Kickstarter employees. Oh, well, he's ex-Kickstarter now, Lexi. He got fired because he stood up to Will Harbin and told him this needed to happen. The guy had gone out of his way to design the functionality. It wouldn't cost Kickstarter any money at all. In fact, it would save them time when it came to answering support tickets, because Vega needed confirmation on large-scale purchases. Something, if you would go into there and buy something for upgrade something for 200 or 300 gold. The idea was to give the player a confirmation button. That's all it was. Do you want to spend this amount of gold?
Yeah, but see, that would take away from those that accidentally would click on it, like me.
Oh, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I did it. I've put in support tickets and said, this happened because your interface is shite. Get it done. Get it fixed. I want my goddamn gold back.
I didn't get mine back.
Oh, I did.
I didn't. 200 gold.
But it was a case of, it was a quote-unquote what they called a one-time deal.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of, we'll do this once.
And we won't do it again, even though they did.
We can't do it.
They did it several times because I wouldn't let it go. And at one point, the last time it happened to me, it wasn't even accidental. It was during that warpath. Where 134 gold went gone. And I count my gold like a goddamn Jew. No offense.
You should.
My nickname in Vega was the Coin Jew. Because I would calculate everything to the specific coin. If I could save 2 minutes and save a gold, I would.
Yeah.
I do it now.
Me too.
Because that was the thing I would do. I mean, to go into the micropayment thing for a minute, there are several different ways to do it, and I have several different examples. You do micropayments in the way that KixEye do it right now, which is coin and spend money to save time. The more you spend, the further your advantage. If you have a maxed out base, then you're good to go. Because you've coined all the way up there. There is nobody that says they haven't coined a day in their game and have a maxed out base. Because there's no way to do it, because the time frame doesn't fit. You cannot say that. I started from day one and I'm this level and I've never coined. Bullshit.
Even if you're a beta,
called bullshit.
If you were a beta, you'd still be behind because of the CC upgrades that they added on later on and the new turrets and things. So yeah.
I mean, we worked it out. And you don't have a maxed out base, Peel. Your turret levels are lower than mine.
Peel says this. I'm not reading.
He says my base
never coined, but my base isn't maxed. Yeah.
Yes, your base isn't maxed. I've coined, but I slow rolled my account because I tried to play this as I've played other games in the past, which is if you're in a game where your objective is to deal with other players, if you can make your event or your well, for lack of other terms, but your base less appetizing to others to attack, or at least fundamentally less rewarding when they do attack you, you keep yourself in an advantage because you will always gain more from attacking others than they will get from revenge on getting you. So I slow rolled a lot. I stayed a low level a lot longer than I had to have. For the amount of time that I've been in game, I should have been a higher level. I should be, maybe a 46 or a 47. But I'm not. I'm a 44, and I'm surprised that I'm not high. I only recently became 44. I was a 43 up until recently. But my turrets aren't maxed. My buildings aren't all maxed. My equipment certainly isn't all maxed. I don't have all the tech. I don't have all the components. I don't have, I'm hindered and I've hampered myself and hamstrung myself behind due to my slow rolling the game in the original, in the early years. But you're absolutely right. There's no way to be top dog.
No, there isn't. And freemium is a contraction of two words. Free, obviously, and mium, which is Latin for not really. It's ironically, it's the meaning. It's the meaning of the word freemium, because in the Latin chorus, it would not really be free. And it goes along the same loops of keep the game just barely fun in order to make people pay money to make the game more fun. And they've trained us. We've all done it. We've been trained by KixEye and any other company that provides the microtransactions or micropayments or whatever the hell people call them, is just to buy the fake currency. To spend real money, buy the fake currency, and then spend it in the game just to go and buy more. And then you're trapped in the loop of the RPG loop of explore, collect, spend, and improve. And then they jam as many micropayments in that loop as they can possibly get. And it never ends. The average player will spend minimally. If you take a group of about 100 people who've played War Commander, 90% of them wouldn't spend more than $10 a month, if that. Mm-hmm. And then you have the whales, the super coiner, the mega coiner, because it's that addiction tendency in people's brains, and that's what they pick on. It's done with alcohol, it's done with cigarettes, it's done with micropayments. It's gambling. Without a doubt, it's nothing short of a gambling problem. I knew a guy in Battle Pirates who bankrupted himself playing Battle Pirates to keep up and try and be top dog. And it's nothing that I want to see anybody go and do. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I will take a suggestion from the top of my post feed appeal. I'll give you my suggestion for the door not to smack you in the back of the head on your way out. Because if you say what I think you're going to say, my foot will follow you.
I got my timeout button. Do it, Fear. Go ahead. What are you going to say? What do we need to do to fix it? He's timed out. I knew it. I timed him out. I told him I was.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. But I will state simply that Kixeye have done nothing short of ruined their own name in the most horrific, cataclysmic way. Because I have come to a point now where I was 8-9 months ago. I'm back in that same area in my head where I just want to leave and not come back. Not because of the guys that are developing the game, but those shadowy motherfuckers who sit behind the curtain and pull all of the strings. I'm sure War Commander would be a great game if certain people weren't running it. And it's the same reason why I have put this out there. And if this is the case, and if I do step down in April, originally I'd put the date as April 1st because that's exactly 90 days. However, I pushed it to April the 4th, which happens to be a Wednesday, so nobody thinks it's a fucking joke. Because I'm not quitting the game on April 1st, quote unquote. I'll close down Unshackled. Well, no, I won't close down Unshackled. I will close down War Commander Unshackled. Because there is a very distinct possibility in the near future there will be a brand new Unshackled show that I haven't come up with yet, but it won't be War Commander. It will be something brand new. And if the guys can get this off the bar and get this into beta, because they're still waiting for capital investments to make the last set before they can release the game. And I chat to the lead developer quite frequently on this, and he stated categorically, as soon as he can get capital, the game will be up in 5 weeks. So if he can get capital at the beginning of the year, 5 weeks later, they'll have that game up and running. And I played that game before, but it was under a different studio, and that studio fucked it. But somebody out there, one of the original creators, got hold of the rights, owns the rights, and is re-releasing that game. And it is a similar sort of style to stuff you know now, but it was one of the games I enjoyed more than anything else, and it wasn't a huge coin requirement. I enjoyed spending money in that game. Because it was a privilege to do so. So that is that.
And
and it's not owned by Kixeye.
Well, yeah, I figured that. But can you say the name of the game yet, or do you have to wait until?
Oh yeah, okay.
Because Micaiah asked in the YouTube chat.
It's called Imperium Galactic War.
Okay.
I call it IGW for short, as does most of the community. It's by Varvel Games, and I think I've spoken to him about it in the chat previously.
You did.
It might have been Duncan. I don't know. It might have been both of them. I had a lot to drink over Christmas.
Yeah, Micaiah and Duncan were both in there because Micaiah just said, "Yep," and I remember that I was kind of watching chat when you guys were talking about it.
And the thing is, it's not an easy decision, even though the shows generally are for the players, but it also promotes the game, and we provide the shows to a separately large audience. I would think usually on every show we almost hit 1,000 views every week, but I won't promote a company that is as disrespectful to its community as the one I have seen from Kixeye at the moment. And I've seen some pretty shocking things and watched this company do. I watched a former CM go after one guy over a disagreement. And they hated each other after that. I've never seen a community manager go after somebody as much as that one community manager went after one bloke. And it was horrific.
Yeah.
And I don't want that shit to happen. Because it doesn't need to happen. All egos aside, shows like this on any platform, whether it be us, whether it be Roy, whether it be BV, whether it be anyone else, it's free promotion for Kixeye at the end of the day.
Yes, it
because
is.
War Commander sits in the name. Even if you talk shit about the entire game for 2 hours, which we've done forever.
Yep.
And we will probably continue to do it until I shut it down. But I put this out in black and white first thing in the morning because I wanted this to sink in with other people before I decided that it was a good idea to put a show out. And it's simply to put this roadmap out for 3 months. Kixeye will see this because it's on a Wednesday. And I know for a fact they follow the channel. And they'll watch it and they'll sit back and go, what the fuck happened there? Because I know.
Yeah.
Mistranslation.
We do. We know they listen. You know, we've been able to tell that from some of the things that's come up out of the shows, and then magically, you know, whenever time later, Kixeye does them. But so this is their notice. 90 days. Fix it, guys. Fix it.
I don't expect everything to be fixed.
No.
Just show progress.
Progress and improve.
Yeah.
And what you've got to not do is disappoint. Because if I am still in that disappointed state in 90 days' time, that's it. And that's the problem. I mean, I'm not the be-all and end-all. I never have been. I never will be. My opinion is probably going to sit back. I mean, some of the guys in the office will be, well, shit, what are we going to do? And we'll all be sat there in his chair, drinking whatever he's drinking, laughing his fucking head off because you just cashed this week's paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Of God knows how much fucking money he's been robbing from players for the last God knows fucking how long.
Yep.
His capital investors will be just sat there, robbing the money together. But I guarantee you, revenue back a couple of years ago is far down from the revenue they're making now.
Yeah.
And I think the only money maker they ever really had was War Commander and Battle Pirates. Because they fucked Vega. Vega had way more potential. And then Harbin got his hands on it. Harbin ruined it. Harbin got his hands on Battle Pirates and started dicking around. It was ruined. Harbin got his hands on War Commander when War Commander was at its peak. And slowly, but surely, it got ruined. And now we're in this broken fucking hellhole that we are right now.
He's from what I can glean over the course of playing casual collective games, playing now Kixeye games, there is a subtle difference between micromanaging something to the point of perfectionism and micromanaging it for the purpose of profiteerism. And when you use micromanagement solely for the purpose of profit over substance, the suffrage that the corporation will see, in this case the game, the fallings and failings and falling apart of the game as a whole, and the loss of respect and the loss that the brand gets from the game falling apart and imploding upon itself, all for the drive of investing as little as possible and trying to milk as much out of it as possible.
Yeah.
It's sad, and that's what I've seen. You know, yes, he wants his name because he wants fame, but he doesn't care that what he's getting fame for is ruining the potential of, you know, award-winning, game-changing, marketable games. All for the quick buck, keep his name in the press, go on to the next best thing, and fuck the old shit. You know, I moved on, and I don't know.
It's why I'm consistently pushing my the games that I'm doing on Twitch and trying to get other people to play other games.
I don't know. I mean, Leisure Suit Larry was the cheesiest, crappiest game you could have come up with. But the developer, designer, artist, he has put his heart and soul in it, and he keeps trying to keep, you know, the later renditions kept coming out, you know? And that is not a high-priced game. He truly, fundamentally did not have the team, the investment, the capital, the groups of individuals to all help along in a cohesive manner to produce a game that Kixeye has. And yet he fundamentally put out a game that has such a cult following, where War Commander, Battle Pirates, Vega Conflict, Backyard Monsters, all these games under the Kixeye, you know, label could have had an equal cult following, if not a greater cult following. They could have been the EA Sports of, you know, and not to say EA Sports is a great company. It's not. I'll wholeheartedly admit that. But as far as a namesake, or the, you know,
the original Electronic Arts was great.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as a title, as a name that's synonymous with a certain genre of gaming that has a following, Kixeye could have had that, but they pissed on it.
It was their thing, their calling card. You know, an EA game because it would have that guy with the EA Sports thing. It's in the game because it was. And then, of course, like all companies that happen, EA decided to try and pick up on the microtransaction market and absolutely ruined themselves. And now EA is the joke developer. Just much like DICE and BioWare and Activision. Companies that were great have now become jokes because of bad games, because of microtransactions, because of this problem and the ridiculousness of needing patches at day one of 20 to 40 gigabytes just because they couldn't be asked to finish it up in development. Go back 20 years and you've got to get it on a disc. PS2, PS1, the original Xbox. It had none of this patch stuff. No updated versions unless they released like a remastered version or a classics version or this version of the same game that had patches for whatever on it. But can't do it. Can't do it anymore.
No.
And it's that point where, before I wrap up and throw some shout-outs out there, I mean, I did this for you guys. Nobody else. Never did the show for Kixeye. I don't do it for myself. I do the show for everybody else. And I hope you all had a good holiday break anyway. Good Christmas dinner, good drink down here, spend time with family, friends, and other things. For the guys who are going back to work today or yesterday, or the lucky bastards like me that don't go back to work till the 2nd, I want to thank you very much for supporting the show. And I hope you continue to do so as we push into the new year. And that's just from me. But, of course, we'll throw some shout-outs out there, and we'll wrap this up. So, Dutchie, have you got any shout-outs?
Yes, shout out to YouTube and to the panel, and I really hope that Kixeye sees that they are going downhill, and just hope that they show something that they're willing to change things so it will make the game fun again, you know? That's it.
Lady, have you got any shout-outs?
Oh, shout out to everybody out in YouTube land. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for all of your support. We greatly do appreciate it, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have any reason to be here. So we really do appreciate that. Shout out to my fellow panelists. And yeah, Kixeye, come on. Do something. Show us some progress. We're not expecting everything fixed in a day. We know that. We're not expecting everything fixed in 90 days. But show us something. You did good there for a while. Now you're back to fucking up. Let's get back to doing good and giving us a game that we like to play and want to play, as opposed to just log on because we're bored. That's it for me.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Then have you got any shout-outs, buddy?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't expect Kixeye to do a goddamn thing to change anything. It's too far past trying to, to add fun back into the game. It had its moments. It is just not living in a very good moment at this point in time. So whatever happens. I'm not looking at anything great happening, but it is what it is. As far as shout-outs go, I just want to shout out to my wonderful wife, who's over there waiting for me to eat dinner. I love her, and thank you for cooking dinner. And to you, Phil, for carrying on Shadow Killer's original plot and bringing the show to what it is. And to all those out there that supported the show and kept it going, we do love you. And I know, like Shadow Killer did, like Phil does, like Dutch does, like all of us in the past and in the future. These shows were about the community, about information, about education, about entertainment, and about the players. It was never about the company. It was always about the community. And it's just it's a sad thing that the company's just not what it needs to be. So that's me.
I agree. What the hell is that? Bring back New Year's Venom?
It's because I still have my Christmas icon up, probably.
Oh, yeah, probably. Oh, shout out. Let's see. Somebody said shout out to Anton. Hello, Anton. And shout out to you, Fury, even though you're a pain in the ass with that thing that you talk about. Sorry,
or
Doc.
They want to see the Lionel Richie with the 2018 glasses. Although I do have brand new 2018 light up glasses to wear.
Well, then you got to wear. Yeah, so you got to wear those. You got to wear those next show. Then that'll be on the 3rd. Yeah, you got to wear.
No, because they keep getting screenshotted, and then I get made fun of for having 2017. So
no, I'm talking about your 2018s.
I know.
You got to wear those next week.
And fuck you, David.
And my final shout out, fuck you, David.
And mine, I love you, David. Now, carry on.
All right. Well, it's been one of those things. It was an unexpected thing. to just basically, well, I hijacked these guys before.
Yeah, you did.
It was sort of, I'm doing it. Is anyone free? Yes. No. Good. It was one of those. So yeah, this is pretty much our roadmap for next year and the coming shows. I'm not going to be around for New Year, so if there is going to be a New Year thing, there'll be a thing. It won't be run by me though, so I'm throwing Dutch under the bus.
You're throwing me a lot under the bus lately. You don't.
Yeah,
know.
It's easier to throw you under the bus because Venom would struggle.
And he knows not to throw me under the bus because I'm just like, fuck you, I ain't doing it. And I'm out.
Exactly.
Yep. He knows me. He knows I'm not going to do it. I'm going out. I'm going out New Year's Eve anyway. No, I do not have a date.
For almost a decade, I should be handling a bus. So, yeah.
Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do, buddy. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, if there's going to be a fun thing, there'll be a fun thing. If there isn't, then there isn't. So, I mean, I won't be here for New Year's. Lady Warrior's not going to be here for New Year's.
Nope.
I will be in a bar somewhere, way away from any of you.
I will be at a friend's house with all my other friends and trying to, yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Excuse me.
And no, I don't have a date. So, you know.
Oh.
Anyway. Damn. Maybe next year.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's all right. I don't need a date.
But yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. All the guys that are watching in the YouTube. This is the community issue. The community's not the issue. Why did the fucking issue? I meant something else. That's the problem with trying to run a live talk show and not script your own ending. Usually I do, and my notes were rather large for this evening, so I did not script my own ending. So this is completely off the cuff, and I've just fucked up my own ending. So I had an idea with what I was going to say, but yeah.
Carry on.
No, I won't be on, Micaiah. I won't be on. I will be far too inebriated. So it's not happening. I don't do the drunk show anymore. So that's one thing I do not do. I did back in the past, but that's long since gone out of the window. So that is that, of course. Again, I want to thank everybody for supporting the show this past year and since Unshackled started. I mean, we're almost 18 months in now. And we're going to start 2018 fresh off the bat, and we're going to go in swinging. And we swing just like we always do, swing straight for the fucking head. Because that's the way we work. We go straight for the bloody jugular, and we don't pull punches, because that's Unshackled. And that's what we do best. So to Dutch, to Lady Warrior, to Venom, Anton, Micaiah, David the Douche, Fear the Peel, Farmer Blade. Let's scroll up a little bit. Pascal's in the chat. Marek's in the chat. Hulk's in the chat. Hi, Phoenix. All you guys that came out tonight. All the guys still watching. Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, I mean it. There's been a lot of bullshit that's been thrown around. I think I saw Lonnie in the chat there earlier as well.
Yeah, yes. And Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, Jack was in for a few minutes.
All those guys, all of them. Hey, there's Debo.
Hello, Debo.
Yeah, Debo.
Spencer.
Champ.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to name everybody. It really is. Duncan, William, everybody.
All of you. Thank you very much. It means a lot that you still support. Well, support me, support Unshackled, and support what we do every week. Even though I said this, like, well, I'm not going to have a show until fucking January. No, next Wednesday. What do we have? We've got a show. I can't stop it. My work never ends. Never ends. No. But thank you very much. I hope you all have had a great Christmas and all have a very drunk New Year, because that's exactly how I intend it to be. And there's Suzanne. There she is. I saw her earlier as well.
Hi, Susie.
And that's it. We're one big crazy fucking family. I mean, my family's dysfunctional as it is, but you guys are just fucked up.
Wait a minute. Do we claim David in our family, though?
Yeah.
We have to? Damn.
Yeah, he's the uncle that sits in the corner and falls asleep 10 minutes after dinner.
We love you, David. Really, we do.
But thank you all very much for coming tonight, and we will see you next week, if not before. Enjoy your new year, and may 2018 kick you in the balls.